Boulevard here. We're going to do a quick overview and review of the Coleman Dual Fuel 533 single burner camp stove. Now, I'm not going to get too in-depth on how this thing works. I think most people know how to use a Coleman stove. It's pretty much like your old-fashioned white gas stove. However, this one will also burn unleaded gasoline. Just regular, out of the pump, unleaded. In fact, that is what's in it right now at $9.50 a gallon for Coleman fuel, and $2.31 is what I paid for gasoline yesterday at the local gas station. It only makes good sense to use the cheaper fuel. I've taken this camping a time or two. A tank usually lasts me, close to a weekend. I take this on my motorcycle and actually carry a small siphon pump with me and pump my fuel out of my gas tank so I don't have to carry fuel. That's why I chose this. Most of my other Coleman products are propane. I'm very happy with this stove. What we'll go ahead now and do is we'll get it lit and see how long it takes to boil 2 cups of water. Okay, we now have our stove lit. It's going through its little preheating phase, which this stove actually does. I've been mulling over the idea for, like I said, a couple of years for a cooking solution. I'd seen these, thought about them. The idea of a gasoline stove kind of spooked me. Looked at a few more reviews on YouTube and a few forums and whatnot, and it seemed like a good idea. Okay, our pan of water is on. It is 6:26. The nice thing about this little stove is it fits very nicely in my saddlebag. And like I said, because it burns gasoline, there's no extra fuel to carry, saving lots of extra space. I've been camping on a motorcycle for about a little over 4 years now. I had to think about that. I've been as far out, I live in the Ozarks in Missouri, and I've been as far out as Wyoming, I'm sorry. As far as Wyoming, we went, a couple weeks ago, we went down to Texas. You can already see it's been about 2 minutes, and there are already bubbles forming at the bottom of the pot. I don't know if that's visible or not. And it's already starting to bubble up a little bit, but we are pulling this to a rolling boil. This is a nice lightweight stove for a backpacker too, I would think. Actually, I believe that was its original intended purpose, was for backpacking. There are some newer things out there that'll fit in your pocket. But for someone who's just going for a night or two, not getting too extreme into the outdoors, I wouldn't take this thing up Everest just because of space. It would be very nice to carry. Also, I'm planning on carrying this deer hunting. It'll be kind of nice to have a hot lunch out while I'm out hunting without having to go all the way to the house. Now at about 3 minutes, we're bubbling pretty good, but we're not to a rolling boil yet. These stoves, a lot of people complain about these old-fashioned stoves because some people say they're hard to light and whatnot. They're really not if you follow the instructions on them and keep everything in good working order. Maintenance is key to everything, of course. We have similar stoves to this that were made in the 60s that still work perfectly fine and have not had a part replaced on them. We're now starting to get into a real regular boil, but nothing. Well, it's going to be rolling here very, very shortly. We're at 4.5 minutes. And here we are to a rolling boil. 4.5, 445. The stove is on its highest setting, but that is how they test it. Shut the gas off. And we'll let it cool, of course, before we put it up. But I could not be happier with my choice I made on this stove. I would absolutely purchase this again. Coleman is a well-trusted brand in outdoor equipment. Lantern stoves, pretty much anything you want. Tents, canoes, they've built some campers in the past. I would definitely put this on a buy list. Now, they do make another version, or another similar stove, that they call their multi-fuel stove. I can't recall the model number off the top of my head, but it will burn the Coleman white gas, unleaded. It also comes with a second generator, so that you can actually burn kerosene in it. I thought that was a pretty neat little stove, but dollars to donuts, to put it. It wasn't something that would fit my bill of needs. I always purchase what I need, what will work best for me. Some of my equipment is quite expensive, some of it is dirt cheap. It just depends on how I'm going to be using it, etc., how much I'm going to be abusing it. Most of the things I carry on my motorcycle I try to make disposable, because you get on a long trip. Motorcycle, you're very limited on space. Get on a long trip and you buy things along the way. Something might have to give. I carry a small, or have always carried, a small charcoal hibachi grill that I think I gave $3.50 for at Dollar General. It's one of the things, if I got out on the road and found something I just had to have, the grill could go in the trash quite easily. It's paid for itself more than once. I actually have 2 or 3 spares in the garage in case that happens. It just hasn't yet. But anyway, as I was saying, this is the Coleman 533 stove. I don't know where to find... Oh, this one was made in September 07. I actually only bought this about a month ago. So it is pretty new to me, but we have enjoyed it very much so far. And if you're looking into doing some motorcycle camping, I would definitely call this product a must. Especially if you're planning on doing any cooking, if you're getting very remote at all. Some people kind of tease me. Said, well, Boulevard, you're going to get out in the woods somewhere and use all your gasoline to cook with. That little bitty, maybe half-pint gas tank, I've cooked all weekend with it. So, I mean, it's going to take on one tank of gas. So it would take quite a bit, you know. I have a 5-gallon tank on my motorcycle, so I don't plan on being in the woods quite that long at a time. Not saying it won't happen. We'll let this cool off. Always, when you store these stoves, when you're done with them, always let them cool down completely. And they cool pretty fast. 5 minutes or so, this will be ready. Crack the gas cap open on it and let all the pressure off. Especially if you're going to have this thing in a saddlebag or something going down the road. Pressurized tank of gas in your saddlebag is just a bomb. Could turn out to be very, very bad. But as always, thank you for your time, and be sure and subscribe. Thank you.